You know, I get asked a lot, what's the one thing that I can do to help me improve on my turkey hunting and to harvest more gobblers? And when I get asked that, well, you know, of course, we all think that we're going to talk about calling, and we should be a better caller. You know, we should always improve. We think, you know, we're going to talk about, you know, getting the latest and greatest equipment, whether you shoot lead shot or TSS or whatever the case, and all that's important too, you know, in some form or fashion. You know, good equipment does help. But when it comes to just consistently harvesting more turkeys and becoming a better turkey hunter, really it comes down to this: patience. Now, I know some of you going to say, oh man, we already know about patience. We've been doing this for years. No, listen, there's different kinds of patience. Now, yeah, the patient that we all think of is setting up against a tree and just being patient as that gobbler's coming in. And y'all have heard me say over the years that, you know, when you think you've sat long enough, just look at your phone or you look at your watch, if you still wear a watch, and say, okay, I'm going to sit here another 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And a lot of times in that 30 minutes, that turkey comes in where if you'd have got up, you'd have spooked him, or, you know, or you'd have got out of there and not been able to harvest that turkey. And that is a form of patience, and that is something that a lot of, especially new turkey hunters, need to work on, is setting longer and not just running through the woods and chasing turkeys. But there's other types of patience that a lot of people don't deal with when it comes to trying to help somebody become a better turkey hunter. And you know, I'm not bragging, but you know, I've watched a lot of turkey videos and on YouTube, and I've watched a lot of turkey hunts and good videos where they're just constantly shooting turkeys left and right. But very, very seldom, if any, have I ever heard anybody talk about what I'm getting ready to talk about when it comes to this kind of patience right here. The patience that I want to dive into in this video is really the patience of harvesting that turkey. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, yes, there is a patience of setting longer, but there's also a patience of waiting till the right day and the right situation before you move in on that gobbler. Now, I understand that a lot of people can't hunt every day, like, you know, like I can, and a lot of people can. You know, maybe you work and maybe you just don't have the time, and you only get like 2 or 3 weekends during turkey season. So I understand that, okay? But when it comes to really becoming a better turkey hunter, there's just sometimes you've got to hold off on a particular gobbler that you're hunting and say, okay, this ain't the right day. Now, what do you mean? Well, I'm not set up right. I can't get to him. I can't move around on him. And if I try to move, I'm going to blow him out of there. I'm going to just totally mess the thing up. If I try to force something, like force a shot or force a movement, he's going to see me, he's going to get out of there, and he may fly, you know, all the way on the neighbor's property tomorrow, and he may be way over there tomorrow, you know. But if I'm patient and I say, okay, you know what, this ain't going to work. He's right there. I see him, you know, he's right there. Man, maybe he's in gun range and I just can't move, you know, and you have to sit there and watch that gobbler walk off, and you go, oh man, I want to move so bad, I want to force something. But remember, anytime you try to force something, usually it don't work out. Believe me. Now, sometimes it does, okay? I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Sometimes I have rolled the dice on some turkeys and do some stupid movements and some stupid crazy crawling and stupid things where I would have probably never done that had I not been pushed for time, or I knew I wasn't going to be back tomorrow, or, you know, I was leaving that state and this was the last day I'm on an out-of-state hunt. So I was like, you know what, if I blow it, oh well, whatever, we're just going to take a chance. And I have been successful, okay? But very few times does it work out. When you're trying to force something, you're usually going to mess the thing up. So what I do is I say, okay, you know what, I sit there and think about it, and I go, you know, this ain't right. So I'm just going to hold off and I'm going to wait. And what I'd like to do right now is to take you on a hunt I had last year where I was able to take a big 25-pound gobbler, and I think I could show you better in real time what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to come back and kind of explain a little bit more what I did on that situation. But on this situation, I had this turkey within gun range a few days before, you know, but he came right in behind me, and man, he was gobbling and just strutting. I mean, I'm talking, he was 25, 30 yards right behind my head, and I could hear him back there spitting and drumming, and I'm sitting like this. I thought the turkey was going to come here, but he kind of went around me, and he got right behind the tree, And he never did, you know, he never did spook or nothing until he got right over here, and I think he kind of seen me sticking out. And he started kind of putting a little bit, but he didn't run. He just kind of walked off. But I'm sitting there and I'm kind of watching him like this. A lot of people would have said, oh, he's leaning, want to move, and they'd have tried to shoot left-handed, or they'd have tried to kind of squirm a little bit, try to move as he was walking off real slow. But you know what? It usually never works out. So what I did was I was patient and just let the turkey go and said, you know what? I'm going to come back down here, and this time I'm going to set up different. And when I was actually walking out, I saw another spot where I thought, man, I should have sat there. That's where I should have sat. And I'm going to take you to that setup right now and kind of show you. Now the camera's a little shaky because I had it in my hand, but just listen and kind of watch in real time how I set up and why I chose to set up the second day where I set up. And well, good things happen for me. Well, we're set up on this gobbler over here. This is the same one I was on the other day, I think. He's not that far. The other day when he was in here, I just thought to myself, man, if I'd have knew these little trees, these 3 or 4 trees was here in the middle of this field, I'd have got back up in this. When he gobbled earlier, I about knew where he was at, and I ran over here and got in these trees. He's just got a strut zone up there, and there's just no way I can get to him because it's fields, unless he goes back over the hill or something. But he's staying right on that knob. I've been calling to him, so I'm just hoping that I'll go quiet and he'll break and come looking for me. I've been calling on my mouth call and my little sly call. Sound like 2 different hens. He's double gobbling. He's doing all that stuff. So we'll see. But just because they double gobble don't mean they're gonna come in. He come about 18 yards, something like that. I was sitting right there in them little clump of trees right there. And you can see I was sitting right there by that tree right there. And so he couldn't see me, and he come right off of there, come right down in here. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, that was a sneaky joker, I'll tell you. Yeah, I figured he was a good one. Look at them spurs. That was the same one that snookered me the other day. Yeah. Big old long beard. Yeah, that's the one. Oh man, I bet that, God, that's a big turkey. Good night. Holy cow. I bet that joker's pushing 24 or 25 pounds. The other day, I was sitting right, well, I'll show you where I was sitting. So he was up here the other day, well, it was a week ago, and he was up here on this little field up here at the pasture. So I come down this way, and I came through here, and I thought he was going to walk down that pasture down there. So I sit right there. So where was I sitting at? I think I was sitting right, yeah, I was sitting right there at that, right there at that tree. And I thought he was going to come right out over there. And instead, he come right out of this hole here where this thing is. He come right here. I heard him spitting and drumming, and he strutted, and I'm sitting there and I'm pacing that way. He comes in behind me. Now look at this. Look where he's laying, where I shot him, and where he was at the other day, a week ago. He come right out of this hole. Now he was roosted up here this morning. He was roosted up there the other morning. But I was sitting right there, and he walked back and forth. And I couldn't do anything. I couldn't turn around. You're too exposed right there. I couldn't do nothing. And I could see his big old long beard. And finally he'd had enough of it, and he putted. I don't know what he just seen something he didn't like. He putted, and he come right through here, and he went right back in this hole, went back up through there gobbling. So I knew I didn't spook him very much. And I didn't push him, didn't pressure him. You know, if you don't pressure turkeys, and you just kind of, I know it's hard. I know you want to chase them and you want to just go after them, but you know, if you just play it safe and don't put a lot of pressure on them, you'll come right back in here and they'll be right in the same area. Show you kind of what I did. All right, so he was gobbling, and I came down this way instead of coming down the center of this field here, because I knew he was roosted up here, but you still don't know. He might see you, but he probably wouldn't have. But anyway, I came through these little fingers, this little finger of trees, and the other day I saw this right here. That turkey come out right there. When he gobbled this morning, I knew exactly where I was coming. You know, some people would have tried to push it and go to that edge, but I didn't. So I figured he'd come right back in this spot. And sure enough, that's what he did. He come right here where he's at the other day. And, you know, I knew he would. I knew eventually he would. He was gobbling too much. But he hung up out there, and he was in the strut zone up there. And I was mouth calling to him, I was clucking to him, I was yelping, I was letting him gobble 3 or 4 times, and then I'd call to him, let him gobble 3 or 4 times, and I'd call to him, and that broke him a little bit, and he come down. Then he just kept on, you know, walking back uphill. I got my little slide call and started clucking on it, a little hybrid call. And yeah, it's over. And that little hybrid call, that was just sounds different, you know. And I was starting to yelp on it, cluck on it, do that one-handed purr, that one-handed calling, keeping my hand down in that green stuff. And that's what broke him. Just, you know, sounded like 2 different hens, I guess, but that little slide, he was really, well, he really gobbled that one. So. All right, there's a prime example of what I'm talking about. Because I was patient and didn't force a shot a few days before, I knew that I didn't spook the turkey that bad, and he was going to be in that area. And because I was patient and went back in there and hunted him and set up right, the second day I went in there, I was able to keep that turkey in that area and go in there and do it right the second day. See, this is where a lot of people mess up. They just absolutely mess up because they continually try to force things to happen because they get nervous, they get goblin fever, or they think, man, you know, I got to hurry up and do something, he's leaving. And then they wind up making the situation worse because the gobbler, you know, he sees something, maybe you spook him really bad, he flies over on the neighbor, or he goes off the property, or he's just really highly educated, not because of call shy, but you know, because I don't believe in call shy. It's not call shy, it's idiot shy. You know, we were idiots, and we educated that turkey because he physically saw something in that area, and he just knows, and he shuts up. And you know, a big turkey like that, that's a big old 4 or 5 year old turkey like that one, you know, boy, it don't take too much to get them just to go quiet for a lot of the season. And so you'll keep your turkeys on your property gobbling a lot more if you'll just be patient and hunt them right, and then set up on them a different way the next day. Don't get this, you know, I know we all want to get a turkey, I get it, but don't get this in your crawl that, oh, I got to kill him today, I got to kill him today, I got to kill him right now, I got to kill him right now. You know, don't have that in-moment gratification. Sit there and play the chess game and say, okay, I'm gonna think ahead, just like I did in that hunt. I thought ahead and thought, okay, I'm gonna come in here. If he's back in here, I'm gonna sit there. That way he cannot get behind me. And if he comes out here, or there, I'm gonna be able to see him. And so I got in there early, snipped all that stuff out of that little tree, you know, that little clumps of trees. I snipped it all out. And while he was gobbling, I knew he was a long ways off. I snipped it all out, got back up in there, sat down, and committed the rest of that morning right there because I knew eventually he was going to come in there. And sure enough, and yeah, I mean, look, I shot that turkey basically 30 yards from where he done all that strutting right there just a few days before. So it goes to show you patience, not just waiting on a turkey at the base of the tree, but patience in hunting that turkey the right way will pay off for you many, many times. But so many people, they just get too in the moment and they start messing things up because they want to force something to happen. Now, there are times, and I'll say this, there are times when I've had to force things to happen and it has worked out for me, okay? There's been a few times. So if you don't have a lot of time to hunt, or maybe you just got a day or 2 or 3 or 4 days in a season to hunt, you know, in a situation like that, yeah, sometimes you've got to try to force something. It usually won't work, but sometimes it does. And because of that, you'll look up sometimes and get a turkey. So I'm not saying that you have to never try to force something. But if you got a lot of time to hunt, or maybe you've got several days in your season to hunt, and you got a turkey that's just kind of swerved you, I call it snooker. He's kind of snookered you, and you cannot get on that turkey really good. The best thing to do is be patient. Remember, patience kills turkeys. Not just sitting there waiting for them, but patience, hunting them, and doing it the right way. Take it, just back off, take it as a loss, say, okay, he won the battle, but I'll win the war. Go back in there, and I have done that many times, and get a turkey. Remember that, patience kills turkeys, but it ain't just waiting for a turkey, it's waiting on the right day, on the right setup. Don't try to force something, and you're gonna be a lot more successful, especially on big old gobblers that's got them big old hooks, you know, and big old deep gobbles and big old weights. You're going to be a lot more successful by doing that. So just remember that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and just hit that subscribe button down in the corner. I'd really appreciate it. Also, subscribe to our new channel, Ways of the Woodsman with Matt Dale. We just started a few weeks ago, so we're getting some subscribers over there, so make sure to subscribe to that. I'll leave the link in the description to that channel as well. And we appreciate everybody that watches and supports us. And make sure to check out all of my calls at springfevercustomcalls.com and get you some Signature Series calls. Turkey season is coming, and we're going to have a great time this year. So stay tuned to the channel, and we'll be uploading every week now. So check back, and we're going to be deep diving on some more good tactics. And we hope you enjoyed the video, learned something, and make sure to share it with your friends and your neighbors. And we'll see you in the next video.